Hello, and welcome to tonight's Insight, supported by Rolex. I'm Emily Gottlieb, and I'm the Chief Executive of the National Opera Studio, and I'm delighted to introduce you to tonight's masterclass with Danielle de Niese. One of the most prolific performing and recording artists, as well as a successful TV presenter, Danielle's credentials include numerous productions with the Metropolitan Opera, Royal Opera House, Glyndebourne, Teatro alla Scala and Wiener Staatsoper, to name just a few. A hugely versatile musician, her performances range from Baroque and classical opera to contemporary music, symphonic, oratorio, lied and chamber music, as well as operetta and musicals. She made her debut at the Royal Opera House in Wayne McGregor's famed production of Acis and Galatea, and she is currently back on stage to reprise her widely acclaimed portrayal of Musetta in Richard Jones's La Bohème. This production streams on the 25th of June, so you'll be able to watch wherever you are in the world. Visit the ROH website to book your tickets. Later in the year, Danielle makes her debut at the Edinburgh International Festival with the highly anticipated Rodgers and Hammerstein's A Grand Night of Singing, and will star in an exciting new BBC Two series with Gareth Malone filming this autumn. Also planned is a feature film based on Poulenc's one-woman opera La Voix Humaine, which she recently performed with Sir Antonio Pappano and the Royal Opera House Orchestra. For those of you who don't already know, the National Opera Studio plays an essential role at the heart of British opera by providing professional training of the highest quality for singers and répétiteurs who have the potential to become the leading artists of their generation. The NOS is independent, yes, it works in partnership with the UK's leading opera companies, offering support and coaching to all young artists throughout the programme. NOS has been a proud partner of the Royal Opera for over 40 years now, and it's been fantastic to see NOS alumni consistently winning places on the Yetta Parker programme here at the Royal Opera House and performing on the main stage both here, around the country and indeed around the world. Please welcome Danielle de Niese and our first artists, mezzo-soprano Judith Le Breuilly and on piano Maria Tataru. Thank you. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. God, it's so great. We've all just been remarking upon the fact that for so many of the people here in the audience today, this is the first live music that we are experiencing together since the pandemic, which is a long, long time without live music, right? Yeah, hooray for that. We're all so excited to be here. For us singers, I know we've just been bursting at the seams, really, to get back into live performance, because so much of the oxygen that we get comes from you. It's a sort of two-way street, and it doesn't really, does it exist if the audience aren't there? I don't know. I mean, we can all be superheroes in the dressing room, but it's sort of what happens in that live theatrical experience that I think is what makes a performance live. And it's just wonderful that we're all back in the room together. So I'm very, very pleased to be here. And, oh, thank you. Thank you. And with no further ado, let's hear Judith. Do you want to tell everyone what you're going to sing?
So I will be singing Donna Elvira's aria, Mi tradie quell'alma ingrata, from Don Giovanni.
Tremendi, la volta è sciagurata.
Well done. That's great. I love this role. But one of the things that I find really far too often is Donna Elvira can often fall into this kind of cliched trope of the needy, clueless woman who just doesn't get that he's not just that into you, you know. And I feel quite sad, I have to say, when I see Donna Elvira portrayed like that, because I don't see her at all like that. I think she's the backbone of Don Giovanni. She's the person that knows him the best. And one of the things that I find very interesting about Donna Elvira is that in one of her early recits, have you been preparing the whole role or just this aria?
No, so I've done a few little bits of it. So I've done Affogi into the quartet, and I've done the sextet, but I've not done any of the other.
Okay, well, you'll see when you look into the recit of this, you'll see there's like a little throwaway line that she says, "Dopo 3 giorni, you left. After 3 days, you took off, basically, having had this beautiful steamy night together. After 3 days, you took off." And the first thing I thought of when I saw that was, whoa, 3 days they spent together? So that's a lot longer than the amount of time he would have spent with anybody else, and that speaks volumes. This aria, I feel, is the reason why Donna Elvira must be more than just that trope, because this is such a beautiful and lyrical aria, right? So there's no way that this character can start off as this and then sing this. It doesn't mean anything dramatically. It's got to be tethered. Any role has to be tethered to its most beautiful products, right? So this piece, how do you feel when you sing Donna Elvira about Don Giovanni? When you start the recit, tell me how you feel. Do you want to see him dead? Sorry, is that a terrifying question?
I think this is her seeing absolute red. This is her angriest, definitely. I think there's a flash of it, but then she's like, oh no. I think maybe I actually don't know, is the honest answer. I think yes and no. I think she does want to kill him, but also she can't live without him, so
okay,
knows,
so let's see if we can do the rest of it again and find a place where that story can be told.
Yeah.
So let's just dive back in. Should we do that?
Yep.
Can I just stop there, actually, because it's very interesting. Just in that introduction, there are already question marks, right? Bam, triam, triam, dum, bam, bam, triam, triam, dum. Maybe I still love him. I don't know. Then it's building inside of you. But let us see already that you are in two minds about this. Try again. See it. Judith, so that's fantastic, and I want to just give you little things to think about that help to tie these together. In quali eccessi o numi? In quai, the question is going on. In quai misfatti orribili tremendi e avvolto il sciagurato. So everything gets to sciagurato. Yeah. So you don't want to do in quai misfatti orribili tremendi e avvolto il sciagurato, like, because it's the sentence is not finished. Yeah. So show me that. Babam is the continuation of your thought. In quai misfatti orribili tremendi, babam, e avvolto il sciagurato. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, show me that. Let's just do, wait, let's not start at the beginning. Let's do, just the bar before. this is another place where, again, it's more or less the same thought. Non puote tardar l'ira del cielo, la giustizia tardar. Non puote tardar l'ira del cielo, babam, la giustizia tardar. Show me that there's more direction to that, so that it's not just phrase by phrase. Can you do just can you lead in, Maria, just the 2 bars before that to give her that dramatical impulse? Now, tell me something. Are you happy about that? So she says, what's she said up to now? She said, in what kind of, basically the first 3 sentences, what the hell has Don Giovanni gotten up to? What has this jerk done? What has he done? And then she says, no. He cannot delay the ire of the heavens and justice. He's got to face justice. Then she says now, sentir già parmi la fatale saetta. I already hear the fatal arrows coming to get him, basically. Che gli piomba sul capo, boom, that are landing on his head. That is literally what she's saying there. So how do you feel about that? I think that is a place where you can explore what your face is doing. The music before, pam 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 pam, sentir già parmi la fatale saetta. But this is the setta. And I was going to say to you, Maria, perhaps a different color there. Boom, che li piomba sul capo. Boom. Then she says, aperto veggio il baratro mortal, which, for our audience, just to say, I see the earth opening up, the chasm, him falling in, and then the change is happening. So let's do the 2 bars before sentir già parmi la fatale saetta. Can you see it? And how does it make you feel? Good. Misera Elvira, che contrasto di affetti. So right now what I've seen is you definitely have a change of it, right? A change of heart there. Che contrasto, right before that, Judith, you're saying, okay, I'm going to say che contrasto. Yeah. So you're showing me, okay, I feel this. But really, this contrast is happening before.
Yeah.
So that thought, which I saw very clearly, you went, misera Elvira, che contrasto gli affetti. But this che contrasto is actually what's happening earlier. So misera Elvira, che contrasto di affetti. It's one thought. Oh, Elvira, what kind of diverse feelings you're feeling inside of yourself. So one of the things that's a real temptation with recit and sort of making colors is that we sort of go like, okay, I feel, well, I don't know, try to think of a sentence. Like if you go, I feel the cold death upon me, falling right now. And you can start to just like make each of the word color, we want to make colors, but the trap is you can just do them a bit by numbers, and it's sort of, if you were actually thinking this thought, before you would say misera Elvira, or you'd say misera Judith, poor Judith, I feel such differing feelings inside of me, but you wouldn't go, poor Judith. I feel differing feelings inside of me, right? Yeah. So it's coming earlier, this thought. So let's do aperto veggio il baratro. And baratro mortal is a very, very heavy thing to say. So show us how heavy that is. See him going inside at the bottom, never to see him again. Oh, yeah?
Aperto veggio il baratro mortal.
Listen to that harmony change. That's a change in your thoughts. Another change. Oh. That's brilliant. She sings that beautifully. So Judith, when you do perché questi sospiri, I know this is another thing with singers, we're always, you do need to think about how you sing things. One thing, Misera Elvira, you could do more M there. That will give you a better way to spin that sound, but also it will add so much emotion, right? Da, misera Elvira, che contrasto da da. Perché questi sospiri? Questi sospiri was fantastic. But perché, I saw like the ice skater preparing for her triple axel, like this. So try to hide that. Hide that by using perché what? And spin it over to why is this happening to me? Perché questi sospiri? Should we just do that? Let's do one bar before Misera Elvira. Misera Elvira. Oh, sorry, 2 bars before Misera Elvira. Sorry. Now it's in senti nasce. It's there in your heart. Beautiful. So I wanted to spend a bit of time on the rest because the rest, it sets everything up for the audience. Now we're invested into what you're thinking because we have watched you go through all of this and it's convincing, and that's very important, that all of the travails that we go through vocally provide something for the audience that is convincing to them, that they're not thinking, ooh, there's a note that she's floating, there's a note that she's got a thing she's thinking about there. That takes the audience sort of out of the storytelling aspect, and this just sets it up beautifully. The one thing I would say is, e queste ambasce, this is completely up to your taste, if you want to do an ornament there. But queste is not the most important word. Ambasce is the most important word. Now, you could do, e queste ambasce, but don't take too much time, because you also have the aria, and the aria is not easy. Do you want to do a tiny bit of the aria?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? We'll just do a tiny bit. We're going to run out of time. We're not going to get to hear everything that everyone's going to sing. Okay, let's do a little bit, and then we'll see how we go. Okay, so brilliant. It sounds fantastic. So all we can do is just add things to it, right? You have great energy. Mi tradii quell'alma ingrata, quell'alma ingrata, infelice. Those you could
try and cover a little bit more. Maybe
Yeah.
instead of think of like like the same E, but just imagine there's an U inside of
Yeah.
it. Then you get infelice Dio instead of licia Dio. Yeah, just a little bit of covering. We don't want to modify too much the vowel, but a little bit of thinking of it
No,
inside.
I do sing my evals really wide. So.
But you know what? It's better to have it, look, to have it wide is good. It means your soft palate is stretching. It means that you're not adding too much tongue tension. You're not over opening, because this aria, for those of you who don't know, is full of A's. There's just loads and loads of A's. A flats, A flats, A flats everywhere. And pacing is everything. So you never want to go, when at the 17th A, you will be flattened. You will not be able to do it. That is what I found, the challenge of this, is just making sure that everything is beautifully paced. Ma tradita e abbandonata. Here you have a huge harmonic color change there. Prova ancor per lui pietà. So that color change, Mozart gave you that. I didn't make that up. Mozart made that up. So, and it's the first time you say prova ancor per lui pietà. I still feel pity for him in spite of everything he's done to me. So this is very important. So even though we want to sing it beautifully, we want to feel it beautifully too, yeah? Prova ancor per lui pietà. I know this is really hard. It's hard. That's hard. It's hard. You have U on your side. You don't have to go pro.
Yeah.
You can do pro. And then underlie that with an emotional feeling, so that we're not aware that, you know, it's like the duck has to be calm on the surface, and underneath all the technique is going on. Technique, 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 technique. You know, I get quite nervous on stage, and nobody ever believes me. Everyone says to me, even my whole team say, that can't be, Danny, that just can't be. And I really am. And that's the thing is like, it's a bit like having, you know, on your phones, you have all these apps that are running in the background. It's gotta stay running in the background. That's the key, is like, we do all the work, we do all the technical stuff, and now you're here to tell them about how Elvira's feeling. So do you want to just do that bit, and just with those thoughts in mind? Yeah. And I may say a few things to you to prompt you into that headspace, but you can keep going, yeah? Don't stop for me. Do you want to just do from bar 52? He's like, yes, he did that to me, didn't he? But keep going, darling. Keep going. Thanks. But and so loving. That's brilliant. Do you feel like where that's going? Do you just like that? So now Mozart's given you these swelling phrases, and that should tell you everything you need to know about the emotion of it. Per lui, pietà. What am I going to do about this? I don't know what to do. Mitra di, because then you have to sing it again, right? So every mitra di has to have a different color. The first one, mitra di quella alma ingra. And by the time you have these beautiful bells tolling, can you play bar 90, Maria? 90. 90, 91, 92. This is a complete different color change. So this you have to use dramatically. Go. Bam. So Judith, just a tiny tip there. That's a great place. Now you have the tough one.
It took took me so long to learn to
I know,
sing
it's really hard. And you know, it's hard enough to sing, and then to imbue it with emotion is another thing, and you have to be able to feel emotional about it without becoming so emotional that your intonation goes. That's the thing. And so, when you have before though, pa, pita, that is a sneaky place to get some rest, right? So don't go pa, pita, pa, pita, doi le cor, viva, Olympics. Pa, right? So that's your moment to sort of like just if you're getting hoiked up with your breath there, that's a place where you can just regather, get your breath back down, and get in the right headspace for that phrase, yeah? And by the time, I'm slightly skipping through because I'm being cued to rap. But by the time you get to, by the time you hear, is this 132? Wum, bum, 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 wum. This is a very triumphant bit. And you think, why is that? Why did Mozart suddenly change that? To me, that says that Elvira has drawn a conclusion there. So, you know, she says the same language, ma tradita, ma abbandonata. It's the same thing she says during the whole aria. So what's different? It's what Mozart put underneath it. And that, again, tells me that the first time she's saying, he betrayed me, he abandoned me. The second time, he betrayed me, but he abandoned me. And the second time, yeah, he betrayed me, he abandoned me, but I love him, and I'm going to stand by him. This is the positivity that Mozart brings into that bit. That's my interpretation of that. You could have another. But whatever it is, that change has to be seen there. And there must be some conclusion drawn in the aria, because Mozart's giving you that musically. Brava. Do you want to sing a little bit of Una Voce?
I mean, if you want me to.
Should we just hear a little bit of Una Voce? Let's hear a little bit. Because the third singer's going to sing one aria, right? I feel like I'm begging for extra time. Let's hear the rest of Una Voce. Let's hear the rest of it.
C'è poco fa, qui nel cor mi risuonò il mio cor ferito è già e l'indor fu che il piagò sì l'indoro mio sarà lo giurai la vincerò sì l'indoro mio sarà lo giurai la vincerò.
Okay, that's good enough. Let's do that. That's great. This is fun, right? Rosina is so much fun. One of the things to keep in mind is, and again, you know, everybody has differing opinions on this. So, you know, I could share my opinion right now, but that's just one idea. Rosina's never been out. She says all this stuff about how she is. She's so great. She's gonna be a vipera. She's gonna slap all these men into shape, and she's gonna pounce at them. And you know, she's never been out. She has never been out. So that we need to understand through how you portray. So how does one portray insecurity, right? I mean, it's a little bit like, I would be like this. I haven't been like this yet, but I will. Yeah. And that's something to think about. Elindor. That is as close as you've got to him. I can almost smell him. I can smell him from below the balcony. So that's taste him in that beautiful bit. And if you do la vincerò, if you're going to sing it twice the same way, then you have to do something dramatically different. First time, la vincero, la vincero. You can do it the same way, but change the colors behind it. Do you want to give it one stab, and then we're going to wrap? I promise, Matt, we will wrap. Let's just do some of the intro. Let's just do some, 2 bars.
Una voce poco fa qui nel cor mi risuonò. Il mio cor ferito è già e l'indorfo che il piagò. Sì, l'indoro mio sarà.
Willie?
Lo giurai, la vincerò.
Will you? I don't believe you. Go.
Sì, l'indoro mio sarà, lo giurai, la vincerò.
Fab. Well done. That was great. Well done, Judith. Brava. Sorry we didn't get to finish. Take a bow, Judith. Take a bow. So thank you so much to Judith and Maria. So next up, we have, please welcome Thomas Hopkinson and Aaron Preston. Thomas, do you want to who's seen I Vespri Siciliani? Just a few people. It's a little bit less known piece. Do you want to tell people about the aria a little bit?
Yeah, so I'll be singing Procita's first aria from I Vespri Siciliani. This is the point where he comes back at the beginning of Act 2 from exile and sees for the first time his beloved homeland and is kissing the soil and looking at the flowers and enjoying that sense of being home. He also tries to instill some Sicilian pride in the people in Palermo to rise up against oppression and to fight back.
Great.
traita straniere nazioni, ramigai per castella e città, ma insensibil a fervidi sproni dice a ciascun: Siciliano il vel prisco valor, su sorgete, sorgete, a vittoria, all'onor, a vittoria, all'onor, a vittoria, all'onor. O tu, Palermo, terra dorata, a me si caro, riso d'amor. Alza la fronte, tanto oltraggiata, il tuo ripiglio primier splendor. Il tuo ripiglio al tuo splendor. Torna al primiero, torna al primiero. Torna al primiero al mo splendor. Al mo splendor.
Well done. That's a major sing, by the way, guys. That's beautiful. Let's go back to the beginning. One of the things that you did that I really loved is, amongst lots of things that I really love about all these incredibly talented singers, is that we had talked with Judith about moments to breathe out, and I could see that, because this is a piece where you can load and load and load and load. And we do so much breathing in, singers. We don't do enough breathing out. And I saw many moments where you went, okay, start at base camp again, and you let go of the breath. And that's very, very admirable, that you have clocked those places in the piece and were able to not tank up,
Yeah.
which is very, very, very important. Let's just start again. Let's dive in. Procida was he a doctor? Was he the doctor character in Vesperi?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And he's come back from exile, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He's come in on a fishing boat in the very beginning of Act 2, and is now just on the sand.
Just on the, right, so first land. Land. Where is that land? Show us where that is when you...
Okay.
Patria
Great. Oh, patria. You sang it beautifully. I'm stopping because I want to now ask you to do the very same thing again. You don't need to change anything about the singing because the singing is perfect. So can you just breathe in your patria?
Sure.
Breathe in that patria country of yours. So that the O is not just oh, but something that comes from this gut inside of you to see this land of yours again. And then do exactly the same singing.
Fine, okay.
So that's a very different color, isn't it? Which begins 2 bars before you sing.
Yeah.
So again, this is a moment where, you know, the music is there, so
use it.
Use it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, the color change is not only when you open your mouth, it's when you think and listen as well. So really, that feeling that you have of such warmth and love comes. In fact, I would dare to say you must think it first, and then the music supplies the emotional thing first. So it really comes in the fermata.
Sure.
Should we just do, I don't know, l'esule ti saluto dopo si lunga assenza.
L'esule ti saluta dopo si lunga assenza.
Now that sounds fabulous, Thomas, but you said braccio e il core, and when I'm looking at you, I don't feel the word heart. I feel more like I am the basso going to like core, which is great, but in a way, it's
Less
like
of that.
well, no, it's a color, but can we? Because it says, you know, this is the dilemma, right? So it's fortissimo. He has a big and beautiful voice. It's asking for crescendo. It starts a new tempo, andante. But the word is core. It says, I devote myself to you with col braccio, with my arms and my heart, with my whole being, basically. So it has to have some sense of enjoying the sound that you're making, which is beautiful, and still loving it and having heart in it, so that people feel a tenderness towards your character and not that you're kind of exhibiting something, yeah?
Okay.
Can we just do just that bit? Reco il mio voto a te, reco il mio, reco il mi. You could put a little M there, and then that would bring your intonation up a little higher so that you don't start out a little bit under the pitch.
Okay.
Reco il mio voto a te, reco il mio voto a te, col braccio e il cuore.
that? It's just a small color changes, but it makes such a world of difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Should we? You're singing something else, aren't you? I'm already getting prompted. I think that recit is a very important bit to do, and I loved everything else that you did in there, which is beautiful. Let's give him applause and hear his next aria.
So next up, I'd like to sing for you Don Quixote's aria from Act 3 of Don Quixote. This is the point where he's just been beaten up by the bandits, and he is asking them to return Dulcinea's necklace because they've stolen it, and that's not okay. And Dulcinea is using his feelings for her at this point to get it back, and Don Quixote doesn't know that she doesn't feel the same as he does.
Je suis le chevalier roi, et qui redresse les torts. Un vagabond inondé de tendresse, où les mères entaillent, les gueux, les opprimés. Sort ne furent pas aimés. Je suis fou de soleil ardent, der pur espace. J'adore les enfants qui rient lorsque je passe. Et ne déteste pas les bandits quand ils sautent de la fosse au chalet, au de l'orgueil offrant. Et me voici debout, jouant à nouveau rôle, libre dans mon effort comme dans ma parole. Et je vous dis ceci, moi, le haut chevalier, c'est qu'il faut à l'instant me rendre le collier pris au coup délicat d'une femme adorée. Le joyau lui n'est rien, et la cause est sacrée.
It's another quite difficult character, isn't it, Don Quixote? Because, you know, people make fun of him, but he can't feel aware of it, so he can't become a parody of himself, right? Let's start again. There's some of the French, some of your vowels.
Okay.
So. I mean, you don't have to lower your jaw, but when you're saying like, for example, hold on, I'm looking at the wrong aria. Ne furent pas. Ne furent pas. I'm not sure whether you should do a liaison if you're taking a breath. I think if you take a breath, ne furent pas aimés. But if you do ne furent pas aimés, then do liaison. Tout ce qui du sort.
Ah, yes.
Tout ce qui du sort. French is difficult. Even when you speak French, you wouldn't speak French like that, per se. You might say tout ce qui du sort. Tout ce qui du sort. It's not easy, but when you sing it, then it has to be tout ce qui du sort ne furent pas aimés. Let's hear it more.
Sure.
Je suis le chevalier. Je suis le chevalier.
No. Okay.
One other thing I wanted to say was un vagabond inondé de tendresse. You have these notes, and you have an orchestral thing that's just going boing, 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 boing. Like, you play those boings beautifully. Well done. Because you have eighth notes sitting over those four quarters, then the temptation is to go un vagabond inondé de tendresse. Un vagabond inondé de tendresse. So you can phrase within your eighths, yeah? And you have a marcato su tendresse because it's so tendre, yeah? Let's start again.
Je suis le chevalier roi et qui redresse les torts. Un vagabond inondé de tendresse, où les nerfs entaillent les queues des opprimés. Pour tous ceux qui du sort ne furent pas aimés.
I'm gonna leave the French with you, but tous ceux qui du sort, you're saying say it again? You're saying tous ceux qui du sort ne furent pas. It's a little vague. It's a little vague, but we're not going to spend time with that. We just know that that's something to fix at some point, yeah? And one other thing, fièrement, proudly, je suis le chevalier errant. Now, okay, so there's proud and there's like a braggadocio, right? So there's like, you can have swagger and all of that, but something else, I look for something else with Don Quichotte, which is like he's proud, but there's a tenderness about him as well. So there's something that always must endear him to people, because you cannot stay with him otherwise if you're kind of laughing at him. That's what I find dramatically complicated with Don Quichotte. It takes you must think like an actor, not like a singer. And so this fièrement, it can be, so you hear badang, badang, badang. You can think, I'm going to tell you about myself. Je suis le chevalier errant. You know? Something that gives you both the opportunity to show who you are and also show how you feel about yourself and how noble that is. So Don Quichotte really believes himself incredibly noble. So it's not the same kind of swagger. It's not a sort of like category all swagger. It's not just swagger per se. It's a swagger that's controlled and always kind of thought about, you know? Let's just hear a little bit at the beginning again.
Je suis le chevalier roi et qui redresse les torts. Un vagabond inondé de tendresse, où les nerfs entaillent les queues des opprimés. Ceux qui du sort ne furent pas aimés. Je suis fou de soleil ardent, d'air pur, d'espace.
Beautiful. So there's lots of things already improving hugely. Je suis fou de soleil ardent, d'air pur, d'espace. The color right now is bravado
Wow.
still. So this, we can just add another, we don't have to take it away. We
No.
can just
Sprinkle
add
on
another,
top.
sprinkle some other stuff on top, exactly.
Sprinkle.
Show us that you have this, Don Quichotte is so positive. In the most despair, he is so positive. And that's a very touching and charming thing to Dulcinea, especially in this piece, where I think Dulcinea is not, I did Man of La Mancha on the West End, very different Dulcinea. I think that Dulcinea here is a bit more noble, isn't she? She's a bit more, she's got more, she's not poor. She's not a poor farm girl.
No, she's got more. And
She's more wanted and more, she has more status, I think.
Definitely.
But she finds that very charming about him, his eternal positive attitude. So you just layer that on top, yeah? Should we just hear that phrase one more time and then, look, the rap sign is back up. Let's hear it, okay. Make it count, yeah? This is all we've got. Enthusiaste, okay, go. Okay, I have an idea. Can you sing this to me? Can you pretend that I'm Dulcinea? So I would want you to not look at me, as it were. Yeah? Not look at me. So look at me. So don't break my gaze, you know what I mean? Like, don't give me general looking. Just convince me that I should go with you.
Sure.
Okay. We should do the same thing. Especially for this color change. J'adore les enfants, and all of that, yeah? Better convince me. I can just say, I've only seen one of your eyeballs looking out this way because you're performing to my, I'm only on the side of you. But what I've experienced just now is very different from what I could see on the half of your face. Your eyes are so much more engaged. And that's one of the challenges when you're performing a piece in concert, right? I mean, he has a scene partner in me now. I'm giving him lots of good energy. I'm engaging with him. I'm reacting to what he's saying and breathing out or breathing in or looking not convinced or looking convinced. I'm giving him lots of things to work with. But when you have to sing it out, you don't have all of that, right? So the challenge is trying to convince people that you are looking at somebody and that somebody is every single one of you. And that, I mean, it's not easy, but that's, the exercise is finding someone to look at that you can absolutely convince of that will tell you, I buy that. I absolutely buy that. And it's all there. I mean, I felt that was a very different and charming, engaging performance that was much more personal than a generalized thing, right? So that's great that you can do that so quickly and do more of it because it's very, very engaged. As Dulcinea, I would definitely have chosen him. Well done, bravo.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, bravo.
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron.
This is going so well. They're so wonderful. They're so wonderful. So we have one more soprano who's going to sing for us, Monica McGhee, who's going to come and sing Se come vuoi piccina io fossi from Le Villi of Puccini. Monica.
Brava.
Well done, Monica. Monica's not even feeling well today. Can you tell? No.
Yeah, no, we were talking about that because I'm not feeling 100%. You're not feeling 100%, and we wanted to talk a little bit about singing. You know, when you don't feel 100%. Yes. And you've waited till the end. That's even harder. I know. I feel like we're all in the same boat. I've been through all of this. And one of the things that you did really well is you just were able to gather and gather and gather and not give to. There were a couple of places where I want to go through with you where you don't necessarily need to sing at like full throttle, but it is one of the traps of this type of repertoire. You just want to kind of lay it on really thick, and that's, you know, tenors do it all the time. So, you know, but you know, there's just a few places like that. And let's start at the beginning, and I'll just stop you in a couple of places. But it's very, very, very good.
Monica, if you ever, I mean, you're slightly running out of breath on vicina, you're at the very, very end of it. You know, another option that if you wanted to, I know it has a slur all the way over the phrase, and ideally that's what we want to do, but we also don't want to run out of breath and then have people be aware that that's what's happening, right? So you could go sempre, sempre. You could try that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's absolutely. I mean, you can work on the other one and try this one in the intermediary. Sempre, sempre. Sometimes I'm hearing sempre. It's a little romana, but no, that's okay. Should we just try? Also, when you go up to piccina io fossi, you could maybe cover that a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Piccina io fossi. The eleganza, the elegance of the phrase is still very important. Even if we can hit it out of the park, we don't necessarily need to hit it out of the park all the time, even though it sounds fantastic when you hit it out of the park. So show me that you can caress it as well as let it out. Yeah, does that make sense? Let's just start again. Great. Did you like? How did you feel singing that, G? Yeah. It's. What about you guys? What did you think? Yeah. It's got all of the same effect of I can sing that note, but it's got a better timbre actually. I think, and it's more loved. You're loving the note more than showing the note. Does that make sense? When you're saying sempre, there's also there's m. So we work all the time. You hear about legato, 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 legato. But consonants provide as much legato as vowels do. But we don't. It's the kind of thing you don't hear about as much. And it's the thing that singers sometimes we are thinking just vowel to vowel, but actually the consonant. If you're doingempre, the m can lift up your legato and make it even more like peanut butter, you know? So use that M. Try to even exaggerate. Now, sempre. Potrei, potrei. Can you say it once for me?
Potrei.
Potrei, potrei, potrei. Okay, let's just do that one more time, because it sounded so great. Fantastic. Keep going. Non ti scordar di me, non ti scordar di me. Now I want to build something else in here. You have two phrases where you say "se come voi." Who is voi?
Oh, my little forget-me-not flowers.
Yes. So she's talking to a bouquet of flowers. She's talking to her. It's her wedding bouquet, isn't it?
Oh, she doesn't get married.
Is she about to get married? There's some sort of marriage.
Yeah, she's supposed to get married, but then he doesn't come back.
So what we can do here is because you have something wonderful, which is that you are very organic in the way that you feel music. So we feel the emotion with you, and therefore everything that comes out and it very naturally, which is half the battle. You know, that's the thing. Is so we can build on this. So for example, now instead of saying the first two phrases in this beautiful way that you're saying them, because then you have allor dirgli vorrei. That's this feeling is perfect for that. But now you can build something different here. You can build something more intimate. Or imagine that, you know, if you're standing up, that you are not only feeling it, but you can look at something more intimate. You could think it, and sometimes thinking is enough. You know, you don't have to telegraph everything, and we go through this, you know, we spend a lot of time preparing things, and not every piece of knowledge is a piece of knowledge that's going to show, but it goes in somewhere, and it embeds itself, and it makes a difference somewhere, you know. Show me something different that you are, and also piccina is a beautiful word in Italian. It's a very endearing word. It's not just piccola, it's piccina, 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 piccina. It's so piccina. So yeah. So enjoy that. And then then you have your color change. Allor dirli vorrei. Okay, let's do it again. Or let's do it again. This is hard to break it up because it's so lyrical. There they are. What would you do? Monica, that's one of those sempres. Don't forget that, okay? Because it sounds a little bit like siempre. It's got a little Spanish vibe to it. It's like, allora dirgli vorrei, io penso sempre a te. So just be careful of that. But we're not going to stay with that. Let's keep going. Let's go. Allora dirgli vorrei. That was beautiful, the change, though. I noticed that more. You can practice that by grabbing something and just singing to it. Se io voi piccina io fossi, you could, that could give you an exercise on sort of just imagining what it was like if it was actually something, how you would focus your ideas on that. Should we just go from allora ti vorrei? So beautiful, 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 beautiful. This is another one where I know that you can sing this, extraordinarily, these top notes, but we don't necessarily need to have it at like full throttle because you're saying, penso a te. So it's like if you would go, I'm thinking on you, versus, I'm thinking of you, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, you can just gather and love it in the very Italian way without, you can still enjoy it, like, because it says at the very beginning of this aria, con un mazzolino del non ti scordar di me, which is a very kind of Napoletano type song. So I know where it's very easy to go into that place, but always remember the words. It's love, 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 your penso. And you can have intense emotion that isn't explosive. You can have imploding emotion and maybe try to imagine what that would be like without necessarily taking your dynamic down. Let's just hear that one phrase. Let's go. Allora ti vorrei. That was so beautiful. I got goosebumps hearing the way that you sang that because then now I felt it as well as hearing it, And that was really beautiful. And did you feel the difference of that? It was all the beauty of the sound. Yeah. But it wasn't like I've got to get across to the last row. We can hear you. We can absolutely hear you. And now we can feel you, Beautiful. I've got 1 minute left, so let's give you a fantastic round of applause.
Thank
Monica,
you so much.
brava,
Thank you.
brava, brava. She's not feeling well, so really well done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Danielle. Wow, I don't know about you, but I've learnt so much tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well done to the singers. They're all amazing. They are all absolutely amazing.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you to all the National Opera Studio artists taking part in this tonight's Insight, supported by Rolex. Judith Le Breuilly, Thomas Hopkinson, Monica McGhee, Aaron Preston and Maria Tataru.
Bravi, bravi.
And I know you can hear it on the camera, but thank you to our audience here in the Claw Studio and, of course, all of you watching at home. Don't forget that you can see Danielle perform in La Bohème as it streams live on Friday, the 25th of June, and visit the Royal Opera House website to book your tickets. So it only leaves me to say thank you very much. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, artists. Thank you, audience, and good night.